Hello, hello.
And there we are, live again. Good afternoon.
Yay. Not so nice weather today because it's rainy. Maybe you can hear it, but that doesn't bother us because we are ready to work out again. So, before we are going to start with warm-ups and a strength session and a finisher, we need to have some equipment. So, the equipment for today will be a dumbbells or a kettlebell or any kind of weight, a bench if necessary, chair, whatever you have, because we have Bulgarian split squats, so we need to incline ourselves. But before we go into warm up, let's cue the music. Here we go.
And there we go. For the warm-up, we have 3 movements. We've got some lunges, a back scale, and a pause squat. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 lunges, 5 back scale, 5 pause squat. We're going to show the movement while we're going through it, so we're going to get moving right away. For the lunges, we're going to start with the feet under the hip. We're going to step forward and out with one foot, bring the back knee towards the floor, and then simply come back up. We're going to do 10 in total, so that's 5 left, 5 right. Your chest is going to keep pointing forward, don't collapse, and we're just doing some easy lunges. Good. Then we're going to go into 5 and 5 back scale. It's a one leg movement. You're going to start standing on one leg, and then your goal is to bring your chest towards the floor with a straight back and one back foot towards the back side. We're playing airplane. We're going to do 5 on each leg. What we're looking for is a smooth movement, whereas the chest comes down, the back leg comes up. We're not rotating in the hip. We keep the body in a straight line. And after 5, we switch to the other side. We keep our leg straight, not over extended, but straight. And then we do it slow to feel the muscles that are working. You should feel your hamstrings doing most of the work. Good. And after 5 and 5, we do 5 pause squats. Feet go into a squat position, so under the shoulders, toes are pointing out. And then we're going to sit down. You can use your arms forward for some balance. Come into the bottom, count to 3, and stand back up. 5 times, feet under the shoulders, sit down, count to 3, and come back up. Enjoy that bottom position. With every rep, we're coming a tiny bit lower. And that is set number 1 done. We do that 2 more times, 10 lunges. Remember to keep the chest pointing forward. Don't allow yourself to collapse as we're lunging. And find a good foot position. Usually if you're stepping in a straight line, it's a bit wobbly. If you're stepping slightly out, it gets a bit more stable. After that, back to the 5 and 5 back scale. The arms go out to give you some balance. And if you're looking at your ankle, you will see how hard your feet are working to keep the balance, to not fall left and right. It's also a fun thing to do barefoot, and you can really see how your toes and ankles are working hard to keep you in your same position. Very good. Steph is making it look very easy. It isn't. So there might be some wobbling left and right. There might be some falling around happening. It's okay, especially if you're not used to it. Just do a bit more frequently. After the back scale, we're coming back to the pause squat. Sit down, enjoy that bottom position, and come back up. Just 3 seconds or 1 deep breath in that bottom to open up the hips. And then we're on to the last round. If you want to play around with the lunges, you could do them stepping backwards. Walking lunges if you have a big living room. Anything goes. Very good. Still looking very easy here, the back scale. Get a bit more sunshine in, a bit more vitamin D. Unfortunately not. You can still hear the rain drizzling here. But at least the weather was good for yesterday, for King's Day, so I hope you all enjoyed a little bit of outside time in isolation, of course. And then the last 5 back squats, pause squats, sitting down, take a deep breath and come back up. Good, and then we should be ready. The strength part today is quite long. We've got 12 minutes of work coming up. You see it on the screen. We've got a Bulgarian split squat, a 1-leg glute bridge, and the windmill. We're going to show all movement with a few variations, but show more variations throughout the workout. For the Bulgarian split squat, what you need is something to elevate your rear foot. A chair, a bench, a table, anything goes, as long as it isn't too high. If you don't have anything that low, simply keep the foot on the floor. So we're going to use the couch? Yes? Good. Then back foot goes up on the couch. We want to put the top of the foot on the couch, so not the toes, the top of the foot. And from here it's a squat. It's a single leg squat. So we're going to sit down, and what we're looking for is having the toe right underneath the knee as we're coming down and stand back up. If you can, touch your back knee towards the floor like in a lunge, but that's not the main goal. The main goal is to keep the weight on the front foot for every single repetition. Thank you. Maybe a side view from the chair. If you're looking at the back knee here, the back knee is going straight down and up. If you feel like your back knee is swinging back too much, like in this case towards the end, you can see the knee coming closer to the chair. That means the object is a little bit too high. We want to have the back knee going down and up in a straight line. So that chair might be a little bit too high for Steph, so we're going to go with the couch. You can use any sort of weight. You can use a dumbbell, you can use a kettlebell, either one arm, two arm, everything goes. For example, in a goblet position. From the Bulgarian split squat, we're going to show a few more variations as we go along. We're going to a single leg glute bridge, 10 on each side. You're going to lie down on the floor. The back goes on the floor, the head goes on the floor, the arms are on the floor. You're going to pull your heels close to the butt cheeks, elevate one leg up in the air. That leg just goes out straight to get out of the way, and now all the work is coming from the leg on the floor. We're going to press the hip up towards the ceiling and back down. We're going to do 10 repetitions on each side. On top of each rep, really focus on squeezing the butt cheeks. After 10, we switch to the other side. If you want to make that heavier, you can also use a kettlebell, a dumbbell, whatever it is. Place it just underneath the belly button, that's a stable position, and then repeat the same thing. From the glute bridge, you can stay down there, that's quite comfortable, and we're going to go into the windmill. What are you going to do? We're going to lie down now, we're going to stretch the arms out left and right into a T. Your palms are onto the floor. For the easier variation, we're going to tuck the knees towards the chest and now try to bring both knees towards the floor on one side and then to the other side. This is the easier variation. If you have good core strength and control, extend the legs up and then do it again. If you feel like there's a point where you cannot control the movement anymore and you're falling, tuck the knees in and work on full range of motion. Thank you. Those are your 3 movements. We've got single leg squats, we've got single leg glute bridges, and then some core work. 3 rounds of 4 minutes. So there should be a good minute of rest somewhere in there. The clock's going to be counting here. 3 rounds of 4 minutes, but you can of course work with your own clock as well. Good. You ready? Yes, you look very ready. Good. Then time to get those quads and glutes working hard. Remember, we're not in a rush, it's strength work. We want to keep the weight on the front foot, so don't allow the back leg to do any work. The front leg is doing all of the work for all 8 repetitions. It's not a race, so if you're moving slow, that is okay. Especially if you don't have a lot of weight at home, you might just move a bit slower to make a lightweight weight feel heavy. After the 8, we're switching to the other side and repeat the same thing. You might find an imbalance left and right. That is kind of normal. Important is you don't compensate. So if you find out your left leg is weaker, don't just do less repetitions. Maybe try to do even more to balance it out. That's 8 and 8 done. Then we're going for 10 and 10 glute bridges. Lying down on the floor, one leg goes up in the air, and then we drive the heel into the floor. You should not feel your lower back. If you're feeling your lower back, you're trying to bring your belly to the floor instead of to the ceiling instead of the hip. So really focus on feeling your legs do the work instead of the back. If you can't, if you feel your back in those repetitions, even though you try to focus on the legs, bring both feet down on the floor. Do it with 2 legs. That takes a little bit of the pressure away. Very good. That first round looks easy. But I guess in the second round, we're gonna have the legs burning a bit more. Then right away into the windmill. We've got a minute on the clock here. So we're gonna go until there's 1 minute left on our clock. Really focus on that end range in the windmill. The easy part is when the feet are just over the hip. So we really want to focus on that range where the feet are coming close to the floor. Don't compensate by letting your upper body roll. Your shoulders are flat on the floor as we go through. In the first round, that is kind of easy-ish. By the way, you have 30 seconds to go. But in the third round, you're really gonna feel your abs working hard. 15 seconds for you. 5. In 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. I think the first round kind of feels okay.
First round's okay. Now 2 to go.
Exactly. The second round might be a little bit more tricky here. We can also show different variations of the glute bridges, which then makes it, if you put your upper back on the, so that would also be a variation where we're bringing the legs up, more range of motion, and now we're going to drive the hip up. You can also do it the other way around. You can put your upper back on the bench and then make it more like a table or a hip thrust. If you go into global gyms, you see the hip thrust happening frequently. Also, those can be done with weight on the belly. So plenty of different variations. If any of those don't feel good, try another variation, see if that feels better, if that allows you to find your glutes, hamstrings a little bit more. And then we're on to round number 2. Same thing goes, find the same position for the front leg and then move. If the first round was very easy, simply move a little bit slower or do a few more repetitions. The arms are straight if you're going with a farmer carry, so 2 weights left and right, and then the arms stay straight. If you're working with 1 weight, maybe in a goblet position, then try to keep that weight in front of the chest, in front of the chin. Don't let it collapse down. Otherwise your biceps is doing a lot of work, which we're not trying to do. We're trying to get the legs to work here. You might get burny by now. Yes. Good. Take enough rest. If the glute bridges 10 and 10 in the first round didn't really get your legs and glutes working, simply grab a kettlebell and do it again. 1 leg goes up in the air and then we drive the hip away from the floor. We drive our heel into the floor. You can relax the head on the floor, we don't need to look up. The upper body is kind of relaxing. All the work is coming from the hip. If you feel your quads doing more work, so if you kind of feel that more on the front side of the leg, pull your toes off the floor and really work only from the heel. That allows you to use more hamstrings. Good, same timing. We're gonna go right into 60 seconds. We've got 2 minutes 10 on the clock here. As we go straight into the windmill. Still looking very good here. Legs are completely straight. And we're finding full range of motion all the way down towards the floor. Again, if you feel like you're losing tension, if you feel like you're falling towards the floor, simply tuck the knees into the chest or bend the knees. That makes the whole thing easier. You've got 20 seconds to go. Last 10. Before we then take some rest in 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. We're going to use the time to show one variation of the Bulgarian split squat that we haven't shown so far. If you now think, well, the first 2 rounds were still easy with the weight that I have, then go from moving very slow to moving very explosive. You can do a jumping Bulgarian split squat. Same starting position, back foot goes on. Now we're going to sit down slow, and from that bottom position we're going to drive up as hard as we can and actually jump. You're going to notice that it's very, very hard to jump out of that bottom position. Thanks. It's very hard to jump out of that bottom position, especially for more than 3-4 reps. After a few reps, your legs feel empty, and then your goal is to simply keep driving hard. Easy way to make any exercise feel hard is either move extremely slow or move extremely fast. Both variations have their application. For now, we're going to go back into the 3rd round. Same starting position. And we're going to do 8 split squats on each leg. Every set before we go, find a good position, something that feels comfortable. Very good. And back to the glute bridges. Any variation goes, either the back is on the floor or you can put the back on the couch. One leg goes up in the air. If you want, put some weight just underneath the belly button. And then we drive the heel into the floor. Really want to feel the glutes do the work, not the lower back, not the quads. So try to find that mind-muscle connection with your glutes to bring the hip up. Some cramping happening. Hamstrings?
Yeah, I felt my hamstrings, so that's why I
Pull the heel, yeah.
put my toes up.
Good, same timing as before. We've got 1 minute for the windmill from here. Moving very slow and controlled. Very good. By now you probably feel which muscles are really working here, the obliques and the abs, from keeping that position and preventing your legs from just falling towards the floor. Halfway there, Steph, 30 seconds.
I feel dodgy now.
Taking like a split second at the top here to kind of take a small rest. Perfectly fine. 10 seconds before we move on. In 3, 2, 1, and relax. Ooh, shake it out. Grab a drink, grab a glass of water, anything you need.
Oh, my legs.
Ah, that was tough, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. Now, the problem is we're not done with the leg work. We still have plenty of leg work coming up. What are we going to do? You see it on the screen. The finisher is going to be an 8-minute AMRAP of 15 deadlift, 12 goblet squat, and 10 push-ups. So no more one leg work. You're now allowed to use both legs, which makes it, of course, a bit easier to move the weight around, and some upper body pressing to give your legs a little bit of rest. So let's talk about the movements first. Depending on the object that you have, the deadlifts are going to look slightly different. We're going to show it with a kettlebell and then maybe with a dumbbell. If you're deadlifting with a kettlebell, if you're deadlifting with any object, the object wants to be as close to you as possible. So we're starting with the object right between the feet. From here, we're going to hinge from the hip, get both arms on the kettlebell. The elbows, the arms are completely straight, the back is completely straight, the knees are bent. From here, we're going to take a deep breath in, squeeze everything we have, and then stand straight up. Back down the exact same way, hinge from the hip, and then bend the knees to come towards the floor. It's not a squat. You don't want to sit down all the way. We don't want to squat exactly. That will be a squat. We really want to keep the hip high with a straight back, so we're getting a hinging movement out. If you're deadlifting, for example, with a dumbbell or with 2 dumbbells, there are different ways. If you're having 2 dumbbells, you can do them farmer, for example. So we're just going to grab 2 dumbbells, and then we're going to touch left and right outside the feet. So we're going to hinge from the hip and then bring them down towards the floor. You see you need a little bit more squatting here because of the range of motion. If you have 1 heavy dumbbell, you can also start with 1 heavy dumbbell between the feet and then simply grab 1 head or in the middle and deadlift from here. That is also an option depending on the object you have. From deadlift, we're going straight into, how many is it? 12 goblet squats. For the goblet squat, you're going to pick up a weight, same weight you're deadlifting, or if you have something lighter. Weight goes into a front rack position, so 2 hands on the weight. And then we're going to put the feet into a squat position, so underneath the shoulders, toes are slightly pointing out. And from here, we're going to sit down, keeping the weight exactly in front of the face, and stand back up. That is your goblet squat. If you have 2 dumbbells, just grab 2 dumbbells, front rack position. That is also fine. And then we're going to move on to the upper body pressing, which is the push-up. If you can, do the push-up on the floor. We're starting in a plank position. The feet are together, the hands are under the shoulder. We're giving good tension on the core. And from here, we're going to bend the elbow and bring the chest towards the floor and press back up. Your knees, your hip are not touching the floor. It's only the chest. We're not reaching down with the nose. We're just bringing the chest down. If on the floor is too hard, scale it by using a chair, a bench, a table, whatever it is. We can show the chair variation here.
Yeah, so we should first show them the faults you can make with the mistakes with the...
There's so many mistakes. Where do we start?
2 common ones. So the snake and with the hips too high.
So the snake would be, you're coming down to the floor. For most people that looks kind of okay. And then the shoulders are rising way before the hip does. So we're kind of doing a downward facing dog. No, the upward dog. Or reaching with the nose, that's something you see frequently as well, where the chest, the nose goes towards the floor, but the hip stays, or the elbows going out instead of staying close to the body. You see that kind of push-up that kind of hurts my eyes already, so please stop. Keep your elbows close to you. We never press with our elbows out here, we always press with our elbows close by. Same thing goes for the chair. We're going to bring the hands on the chair and the principle stay the same. The elbows stay close, hip and shoulders move at the same time as we bring the chest down and press back up. You can make the exact same mistakes here. You can snake, you can bring your elbows out, you can bend the hip. There's plenty of mistakes. Easy way is to simply use a phone, make a video, check your own push-ups. It's really hard to feel where you're at. It's really easy to see. So if you just make a quick video of this workout, you'll have A, material for Instagram, and B, you'll see your own form, which is kind of useful because right now there's no coach watching. So please be your own coach, check your movements, make sure you're doing them right. So, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yes, I think so too.
It's an 8-minute AMRAP. That's this lovely kind of period where you think the first 4 minutes, I can do this forever, and then the last 4 minutes are just turning really, really tough. So, move a little bit slower than you think in the beginning and leave a little bit in the tank for the last 3 minutes. And with that, no more talking. Time to move. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready in 10 seconds. We're gonna go in 5, in 3, 2, 1, 15, deadlift. The hip stays high, the arms are straight as we bring the weight down towards the floor and back up. No need to look forward, keep your head in line with the body as we go through 50
This is a
deadlift.
file.
You might feel the strength work that we did. You might feel how much your legs have already worked as we're going through that first round. And then right into the 12 Goblet Squats. Now we're not hinging at the hip. We're bending the knees, the hip goes straight down towards the floor, the chest keeps pointing forward.
This is a preview file.
Don't allow the weight to pull you down, stay upright as we go through all repetitions. Squat to your best depth, whatever that is, preferably below parallel if your mobility doesn't allow it. Turn around where you lose form. Done with the lower body movement, onto the push-ups. 10 pretty push-ups, and the first 10 should look exactly like the last 10. Very quick work here on the push-ups. The arms haven't worked today, so they are fresh, at least for the first 2 rounds. They're gonna feel fresh, and then it's gonna get a bit heavier. Very good, first round done here in 90 seconds. Quick work again. Very good, I can hear the breathing coming up as we're approaching the first 2 minutes. Now it's important to keep your breathing in line with the movement. Try to find a good rhythm. The rhythm allows you to keep the tension on the body where you need it and kind of gives you something to focus on as you're going through your repetitions. 15 deadlifts done, on to the 12 Goblet Squats again. Here. Remember to keep your heels on the floor as we're squatting, the full foot is down. And then we're sitting down. Imagine there's a chair behind you and we're just gonna sit down and stand back up. Good job. Not sure if you can hear it, but Steph is matching her breathing with the push-ups, breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. It allows to press really hard. Nice, very good job. You can see that little break at the top. That's to take a deep breath, get tension, and then go through that wrap quickly. Back to the deadlift. Still holding on to that 90 seconds per round pace, as we are slowly approaching half time. rest here between the movement. Match your breathing. It's usually best to breathe in on the way down and breathe out on the way up. For most movements, that rule is true. For today, all of those movements. It helps if you're breathing in and hold your breath on the way down and then really breathe out aggressive on the way up. And we have the 4-minute mark passed. Nice, good job here. Left breaking the push-ups in 5 and 5. That small break makes a huge difference over time. As you can see, the push-ups getting heavy here now, but they're still pretty. That's what we need. Hard work with good form, and then right into the next round. 3 rounds done. We've got a bit more than 3 minutes on the clock. Nice, keep it going at home. Don't stop. It's just 3 minutes to go. You can hold on to that pace for 3 more minutes. Don't allow yourself to slow down. It's the last thing you might be doing today. After that, it's dinner and the couch, so really push it now. Try to keep up with Steph, who doesn't take any rest going between those movements. Moving very fast here. Nice, very good. And then onto those push-ups. They're getting heavier every round, but we're keeping them pretty. Nice, good job. Yeah, there it is. Now we need to work in small sets towards the end. Just 3 to go here. As we're coming towards the end, it's just 1 rep at a time. Get 1 rep in. 10 times 1 is also 10, so just do 1 rep, shake it out, do it again, and then go back to the deadlifts. Those deadlifts are light, so we can do another set of 15, but keep them pretty. The back is still straight, the hip is still high. We're not rounding anywhere. Lower back, upper back in a straight line, the arms are straight. And then all the work coming from the hamstrings and the glutes. Because we need our quads for the next set of squats. 1 minute on the clock. Good job, not slowing down at all. 45 seconds. Keep it going, especially on the push-up. Don't despair, don't rest too long. Do 1 rep, shake it out, do 1 rep, shake it out. You can finish those 10 again. 30 seconds to go. Pick up the speed. Every rep counts. That's why we're doing such short workouts, so we can really push and fight for every rep. Don't give up now, 20 seconds. Good, have nice. 15, keep it going, keep it going. Last 10. Nice, good job. Squeeze in 1 more deadlift. And then we're done in 3, 2, 1. And time. Very, very good. Wow, boy, those push-ups got heavy. But the deadlifts and the squats didn't look like a big problem. Nice.
No, not at all. Murph is still hitting me.
Yes, if you did Murph Saturday, you might still feel your arms from all the push-ups that were done that day. Good. Steph's score 5 plus 3?
Yes.
Was it 3 deadlifts? Very good. That is plenty of repetitions in just 8 minutes. That is plenty of work. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments how far you made it in the comments below. We get them nearly in real time. So we're curious as to how far you got, and of course with what object. If you did this with a, I don't know, 32 kilo kettlebell all the way, then you might do a little bit less rounds. If you did it with a 4 kilo dumbbell, I would expect a few more rounds. So let us know, let's see how big the differences are depending on the object. For now, we're going to move it on to some stretching, I guess. I think the hamstrings have worked quite a lot today, and the glutes and the hips and the arms, everything has worked.
My triceps are like that.
Good, and we maybe start with the chest and the triceps, and then a little bit of hamstrings and hips, and then we're good to go. Over to you.
Sure, okay. Let's start with the hamstrings. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit down on your butt, because that's the relaxing pose for now. Because my breath is still a little bit high. From here I'm going to place my feet together, and then from there I'm going to lean forward as much as I can. But be aware, my knees should be almost touching the ground. There's always a small gap in between, but that you're not lifting your knees up, because then you don't stretch your hamstrings at all. So from here you're going to lean forward. If you can grab your toes, grab your toes. If not, then just grab wherever you can touch it. And then you're going to bring your head down, so bend your head and then lean forward. And then don't forget, I'm out of breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In and out. 2 more, in and out. 1 more, in and out. And come slowly out of the position. Now we're going to stretch quads. If you need a bench that's higher, like a chair, you need to hold on to, because the stretch is too much. You can take your position from there. So come on hands and knees. Then you're gonna bring your toes together, and then you're gonna spread your legs out. From there you're gonna sit down on your heels, and then you're going to lean back. So if you would like to lean on something on top of it, that's fine, and otherwise you can rest on your hands, elbows, or fully down. I'm gonna go for fully down, because otherwise I don't feel any stretch. And then you're gonna squeeze your butt. So tight it up, hold it, don't tie it up too much, and then breathe. Keep that tight butt. This is not only quad stretch, also for your ankles. So if your ankles are really tight, then this will be a hard position, because you need to bring your toes away from you. That can be harsh. Okay, we're gonna breathe deeply in and out. Keep the thigh butt in and out. 2 more, in and out. And the last one, in and out. And come slowly out of position. And then we're going to stand up. 1 more stretch. You need a wall for that, or the deurpost. I don't know the English word for deurpost. The door? Frame. The door frame, of course. I was thinking too difficult about it. Okay, so if you have a wall, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your elbow against the wall, and then you're going to lean into it, so you feel some stretch on this part of your arm, so the triceps. And then just hang in it. Don't arch your lower back, but keep it tight. So squeeze your butt and then hang into the arm. So my hand is touching my upper back, and then I hang into my arm to the front side. Keep breathing, guys. And if it's not comfortable, you can relax for just a couple of seconds and then repeat it again. And we're going to switch sides. So I place my hand on top of my upper body, upper back, elbow against the wall, tight abs, tight glute, and then hang to the front side. I also feel some stretching between my shoulder blades. But as long as you stretch your triceps, then that's good. My arms start to tickle. Okay, and come slowly out of position. And then we're going to make 5 circles backwards and 5 circles to the frontal side. And then we are done for today. Good job, relax. Whew. I'm still sweaty.
I just tried that quad stretch. Did not look that smooth with me, no. I'm glad you were showing it.
The first time I tried it, it was like, I couldn't even do that. I needed the bench, or at least I used the couch in this case, because it was really hard.
It's gonna take a while before I get there.
But it's really important to keep that mobility, because the more you do workouts and strength, the more your muscles will shrink. So yeah, you need to do mobility.
Well, then we've got something to do for tonight.
Yes.
For now, I checked the scores. We've seen everything from very light to very heavy, so I'm quite happy with how that turned out, and lots of repetitions. So good job for the people that joined. If you're watching this on repeat, you can still comment and let us know. We're of course following. For now, we're closing with a triple clap.
Yes.
In 1, 2, 3. Enjoy your evening.
Bye, guys.